It's the second day of Blizzcon with coverage presented by Omen by HP. I'm joined right now by Chris Loranger. Do you still go by Huk?
Yes, Chris Huk Loranger.
Chris Huk Loranger. Is that your official middle name now?
Kind of. My middle name's Franklin, so I'm a little embarrassed. I'm going to swap it out for Huk.
Okay, nice. Very good. And now you went from being a player trolling people like Idra and StarCraft to now helping to run the Overwatch League team for Boston. How did that all come about?
I actually got approached by them to interview for the position. They were looking for somebody for a while. My name had been circulated through some of the consulting and strategic advisement I had been done, and then I owned a small Overwatch team that made it into contenders. I did talent work. I was a top 500 player. I played last year on Team Canada, ex-pro player. So like a lot of small things like that, and then interview went really well, and history.
And now, what has the last couple months been like for you? Because I have to assume it's been very, very hectic as you've looked to build out a roster and help the brand come about and sort of teach some of the guys that you're working with about esports and how this whole thing works.
Yes. So it's been a really good experience. It's been a lot of hard work. I think we're getting there. I was the first, I guess, general manager / president, whatever title you want to use, to be out here. So we're, I think, got a jump start on a lot of the housing issues. We feel like we have a really strong team. Overall, it's a lot of bridging of gaps. I would say from the craft group perspective into esports.
What has it been like for you? Sorry, I'm watching Monty over there. Figure whatever he's doing, what has it been like for you as you have sort of seen all the conversation about Overwatch League evolve? A lot of people saying, expressing a lot of skepticism. Now, obviously, we've seen a lot of cool stuff happening with the World Cup. So, what's that side of the experience been like for you?
It's been refreshing. It's very nice. I mean, I think this BlizzCon has exceeded a lot of people's expectations as far as Overwatch viewership. Being in the arena, and experiencing that crowd and the energy that's there, really, I think, gave a lot of naysayers a different perspective, or at least they're, a little bit more on the fence now, which is great. And I think a lot of people who already believed in Overwatch League believe even more now.
And kind of going back to the roster, when you were sort of scouting all that out, what were you really looking for? Because for a lot of people, it's like literally just sheer talent. A lot of people, it's sort of the synergy of what a team could be. Other people are looking for, faces of a brand. What were sort of the criteria you were looking at?
We were looking at the first two that you mentioned, mainly that players are coachable overall, and there's a lot of characteristics like being humble and hardworking, and a few others that go into that. And then as well, players that are going to mesh well because they're just good people. They never had problems with toxicity. They've never had problems with their past teams. They're all just stand-up, citizens to begin with. And then on top of that, they're very talented. So we're looking for that. I mean, if you look at contenders and you see how quickly teams can shift, from being a team in the finals to a team that finishes last and contenders, it's important for us to, look at the big picture for the full haul of the year.
They're building up the wall for the Muse audience and concert behind us. Hopefully you're not looking to attend that.
No, I got to go to a dinner.
What kind of dinner?
Steak dinner, of course.
Also, in full disclosure, Omen sponsoring all this, but I do want to ask you, what do you think of the sponsorship stuff? Because interestingly enough, I don't see too often that sponsors are announced before a league is formed. We saw Intel and Omen were announced just a couple days ago. Is that a good sign, you think?
I think that's a great sign. I mean, they're obviously, a perfect fit for esports, for Overwatch as a whole. I think it's a great sign to show that those big of brands, fully believe, in the whole pitch. They believe in Overwatch League. And it's just great to see. And I think it sets a good precedent for all the other teams that are also rebranding to see, like, we're all starting this new thing, but it's gone really well so far, and let's keep that pace.
Where do you live now?
I actually just moved like a week ago. I live in Southern California. I live Sherman Oaks, and then I'm going to be moving to Burbank.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. I mean, were you basically living in Boston during a lot of this?
No, so I was staying in Toronto. It didn't really make sense because I was moving. I got the job, and then I was already in Toronto, and then I'd be moving to LA. So I went to Boston, Foxborough, Gillette Stadium, and did my meetings there, and then kind of would travel around.
And we didn't even talk about this, but here at the end, the team that you were working with for the Overwatch World Cup got second.
Team Canada.
Team Canada, as you rip off your jacket. How much of that was you?
Not much at all. Obviously, we had really good players this year. We had a good bracket. A lot of things went right for us. I think in the following years, if they do World Cup again, they'll give more time for teams and coaches and everything to prepare. From my perspective, we'd give them insight. We'd help get them drinks, managerial duties, but overall, more hands off than I think we would have liked.
Anything you want to say at the end of this interview to any of the potential future Boston Overwatch fans?
Yeah, I think our name fits our team. I think we are going to change the status quo as far as what's expected in Overwatch League, and I think a lot of people are pegging us as an underdog, and I think we're gonna pull a lot of upsets out.
Uprising, right?
Uprising.
Yes. You said you're looking to change the status quo for Overwatch League.
Yes.
Is there even any status quo yet? It hasn't even launched.
There's definitely a status quo within the community because I think the community is pegging teams based on how big the name is of their players, not necessarily how good or bad they are. And we're betting big on, we're changing that.
Very good. Well, looking forward to see that all start in just a little bit. I will definitely be excited to either cheer for you or become your harshest critic if the team falls apart. Thanks so much for the interview, Huk. And for everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things Blizzcon right here on my channel. Thanks so much to Omen for supporting our content this weekend. They are now an official Overwatch League partner. Be sure to follow them over at Omen by HP on Twitter for more updates.